Three, two, one. All right, Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before we get started, we're going to get all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem,
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem,
Yahweh
Yahushai,
Shai,
Ba'Hashem,
Ba'ashem,
Rakadash.
Rakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, I great millstone, who teach and rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect out there, feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, with sincerity and truth and charity. I'm the brother Barak, and I'm here with.
With the
Double
Osha's name.
Salah, Shalom.
Yeah, so I'm here with brother Selah, brother Yawasop, and brother Sarah. Lord willing, this be an edifying lesson, and we're going to speak about these women, right? There's judgment coming to these wicked ass women because a lot of women right now they're used to just speaking over their man disrespectfully, right? Manipulating, you know, just and once this, you know, I heard one of the brothers basically mention it, but this woman's she loves this society because it benefits her. And once this devil Esau Edom society is down, this woman her all that fun is over, right? And we're gonna start off with book of Isaiah 32 and 9, and verse KJV. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech." Right, and then we're gonna bring out continue. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, and for the fruitful vine. Right. So all those benefits that you women been getting, right? That you were getting, all you women were getting all these different, food stamps, housing, right? Money from the government. All that's going to be out of the window once all hell breaks loose. You guys got something?
Yeah, I got a precept in the book of Proverbs 31 and 3. Give not thy strength unto woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. So, a lot of the things that the apostles were saying were correct. A lot of men have fallen out due to a woman. Either that woman was telling them that they were spending too much time in the ministry, or they just got caught up with the woman. And us, us brothers have seen that too, with certain brothers that have just disappeared and vanished because they got too caught up with the woman. And the Lord Yahweh Shem Shah doesn't want us to be doing that in these times. Matter of fact, we got to act as act like that's not our first priority. The first priority is doing the work of the Lord. This is the book of First Corinthians 7:27. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. I don't know if that's the scripture that says, be not as if you had a wife, roughly paraphrasing, right? Because that is really what that goes into, or the point that I was trying to bring out. Um, if
Believe, yeah,
Want to paraphrase. So
yeah,
sorry for interrupting. One like
is that
it's the one that
go
says
I got that.
it's the one that says those you have, that have eyes be as those you have none. Those that have eyes be as those that you have. Paraphrasing.
Yeah, I got it now in the book of First Corinthians 7:29. To what it says the NLT. But let me say this, dear brothers and sisters, that time that remains is very short. So from now on, those with wives should not focus only on their marriage. All right, meaning that that's not your focus is not pleasing your woman, and we hear it a lot of times with brothers and just people in the world. They're like, oh man, happy wife, happy life, and a woman, her emotions are fleeting. One day she can love you to the moon. She can tell you all sweet things, sweet words that feel like honey, man, sweet as honey, but then they become bitter, man. She could just switch up, man. Satan can hop on her and the demons can hop on her, and she could just start bugging out and start doing all sorts of shit, and
Oh
we
yeah.
we've seen it before, man. I was gonna make a quick point. Even the Apostle Rakah was saying in his lesson, man, a woman could be with you for 4 or 5 years strong. Everything seems perfect, and then some really handsome man comes into her work. He's tall, he's muscular, and she'll just go up to you and just ghost you, man. He's like, I found somebody else. That's it. Just ghost you. you know, and
Uh,
it definitely burns, but you know, it teaches you that you're not supposed to really hold on to that, man.
these
You're
were
not supposed
ultimately
to
these
hold
were
on.
ultimately curses. Slovakia, you had something?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to add on is that these were ultimately, curses, that the Lord put, put upon us, right, for being disobedient, right? And so what the scriptures talk about. It says in the book of Amos. Let's see, wife. Yeah, book of Amos 7:17, right? It says, "Therefore, thus said the Lord: Thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land." Right? So these were ultimately curses that were put upon us by Yahweh Shem Yahushua for being disobedient, right? But for going off, following, being idolaters, right? And this is this shit in this society. You see all this adultery, right? I have this video from the brother GMS Yawasop, hopeful elect. He basically showed Chris Brown kissing a married woman, right? These fucking
Torturous.
dirty ass Keishas, right? You call them hypergamous, right? Anything that's shiny, yeah, anything that's better, right? Or whatever the case is, bigger, more money, better. They fucking flock to that shit, right? This is what these fucking women do. They don't care if they've been with you for 10 years, 15 years. They're ready to throw that shit out of the goddamn window, because they don't. They're
I have
wicked,
one.
right? Go ahead, go ahead.
You know, this really ties in, man, to what the brother was just saying. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 7:28, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. So that basically goes to show you, man, that listen, there's not many righteous women living right now. You know, compared to men. Yes, there's some righteous men, but you know, in that verse, Solomon was basically saying that, you know, out of all those men, he found only one that was righteous, and out of a woman he had found none. And this,
Yep.
you know, and King Solomon had many, many wives.
And, and,
All right, many, many wives and concubines.
and that's Solomon's ratio, right? So just according to Solomon's ratio, right? You have 1,000 men, you find maybe one righteous. 1,000 women, you find none, right? So that just shows you, in America, Babylon the Great, and in the rest of this world, right? There are very few sincere Israelite women, right? And there, for those who are listening and learning, you're out there. We're not speaking to you. Just continue to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? Serve your man, right? And that goes to serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? And you don't have to, even the elder Apostle Rakah, I believe he even said, just read Proverbs 31, right? Because you see
Yeah,
a lot of
you
these,
should be reading Proverbs 31.
yeah, 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 it's, because, and I got the book of Ecclesiastes 7:26, right? That's a spirit, uh, um, but it says, and I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth Yahweh Shem Yahushai shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her, right? And so the Lord, he sometimes he'll deliver certain individuals, right, away from these, evil ass bitches, right? I'm saying he'll take you out of these situations, especially if you're, the Lord's elect, right? Because ultimately, he
And
sees that we have a more important work to do, right? As prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? You have something, Ak?
yep, Proverbs 20 and 24 in the NLT. The Lord directs our steps. So why try hard to understand everything along the way? So when we go through moments, man, where you could be with a woman for years, bro, and they hurt you so bad, man, and that shit stings your heart to the point where you feel that pit in your stomach and you can't think of nothing else. And I'm sure it's happened to many of the brothers, man, including myself. And there's months, man, and months where that just eats away at you. But when you look back at it, man, you gotta say, you know, Tawadi Yahweh Shemel Shai, because he used these moments, man, as experience. You know, it's not a loss; it's a lesson, and it carried, you know, carried with us and transferred into wisdom and knowledge. We were able to learn from that, and we can't understand, man. our own way. A lot of us want to do something. We want to deal with a certain woman. Oh, she's so fine. She's the woman of my dreams. But she's not. She might not be the one for you, man. The Lord could take it away from you because He's a jealous power and
Well,
He
well,
wants you to be on point. And
the thing is, nothing is the one for you on this side. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have
yeah,
anything, to be honest. Now if the Lord gives you something, and you can take it, but on this side, man, it's very, fuck everything on this side. You know what I'm saying? You don't even want to have that. You don't. We like, just me personally, like I don't want anything to be attached to anything in this world. You know what I'm saying? And but the Lord gives you a sincere woman, then that's a blessing from the Lord, right? Well, what does the scripture speak about? That's more rare than rubies, I believe it speaks about, right?
yeah, and another thing too. A quick point. For those men out there that do have a sincere woman or a woman that's not really giving you that much of a hard time, let it be. Don't be
Trying to like show
trying to do
off.
too much because we
Yeah,
listen. We knew a guy. We're just gonna leave this as an example to prove the point that we're trying to make. We knew a guy that got this girl right. He found a girl, was a concubine, and he was over here making such a big deal out of it and trying to rank her and explain to her her role 100 fucking times. And she'd cook for him. She had all these meals prepped for him, prepared. He would tell her, if you miss up on one ingredient, even if it's a tablespoon, you got to do it all over again or you're going to be in trouble. And he was like, write Sirach 100 times write this verse in Sirach 100 times on the whiteboard. She got it wrong. He's like, do it another 500 times. He's making her sleep on the floor
oh yeah. I
for a
got I got
week.
I got something for
Eventually
that.
she left, man.
I got I got I,
Eventually she left.
I got something for that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ecclesiasticus 4:30. It says, "Be not as a lion in thy house, nor frantic among thy servants." Right? Like we said before, just Proverbs 31 is all these, all you need to know. Right? You don't need to write Sirach 500 times. Right? It doesn't tell you to do that anywhere in the scriptures. Right? And you have to understand, you can't make a crooked thing straight, or an unclean thing, clean thing out of an unclean thing, right? So this woman is, the Lord gives you a so-called concubine, but this woman is, she has some, she slept with, whatever X, Y, and Z men, right? Or whatever the case is, that just at that point, that just, if anything, a concubine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Basically, the guy was trying to make a lady who has been around the block. And listen, we're not saying that there's some sisters that probably who knows? The Lord might have mercy on you. We don't know. But the point that we're trying to make, man, is this guy was trying to do too much,
Yeah.
right? When he had just a woman that he could deal with, man, to just do what he had to do, he blew it out of proportion, made it some big thing, man. Having her show up to the parents' house with the head wrap, trying to act like a noble woman in front of his whole family, almost like trying to flex off to his father, like, look what I got, look what you can't do with you. Just shit, like just be wise, brothers. If you have a woman that you're dealing with, just deal with them accordingly, and that's it.
And and
Don't
and,
be trying to do too much. Don't be trying to play husband and how and house. All right.
and don't, a lot of these people, they try to show off their woman. They're taking, Instagram photos, with 3 wives, 5 wives. Fuck that, bro. You know what I'm
Even
saying?
one wife, because listen, this whole thing, man, of showing your fucking woman online,
That
bro.
leads to
All
adultery.
right.
That leads to,
That leads
wicked
to
thoughts,
adultery,
bro.
bro. And look at what happened to these other congregations, man. IUIC and what JOCC, GOCC. These people, man, were committing adultery, and this shit has happened in that pastor Dow, that fucking guy who was trying to do that off grid land grab thing. He did that shit. Don't be showing off your woman. All right, we don't want to see your woman. We don't care. Keep that to yourself,
Like
man.
think
And
about it.
that
Like
right there.
think about it. Like
Can I? Can I?
if it's your woman, why the fuck would you want to be like? Why are you gonna try to show that off? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
Salakia,
But
continue.
we knew these guys, man. They were like putting in group chats, and this was long before we found out the true doctrine. But this was just the Lord made this happen this way for experience. But they would put their woman in the chat, like pictures of their woman touching their hair or the food, them holding the food, like, And we don't want to fucking see that. We don't fucking care about that. We never cared about that. What do we get from that? All right, but a lot of you people, man, want to show off your fucking wife and what she cooked and flex it. All right, that's many matters. What does Scripture say? Metal not in many matters. All right, and I guess that Scripture can kind of come, and tie into the point that we're trying to make. Is stop trying to do too much, man. This is not a flex off. This is not a spectacle. This is not a show and tell. We don't care. Keep that private. All right. That leads to spirits being formed, man and brothers. Because now anybody can go online and see your woman that you posted or that you're flexing online with your kids, and somebody can see your woman and look at her some type of way. That's that can breed unclean spirits. It's better not to do that in the first place, man. And if you are a sincere sister, man, that's out there, and you have a man that's in the truth, learn from your man. Don't be coming and learning from a bunch of different brothers, and you're being edified by this brother and that brother. The elder apostle Rakah said it. If your man's in the truth, learn from your husband. All right. We're not here to teach you. We're not here to go and break things down for you when you have a man that's in the faith. All right. And I just need to say it like that, man, because some of you women are off, man. You guys put on the head wraps and you walk around saying Shalom, Khan. All right. You might keep the holy days. You might try to, keep them. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, a lot of you are wolves in sheep's clothing. A lot of you don't resemble those fruits on the on the outside, man.
Yeah, a head wrap doesn't mean anything. There was a woman.
Don't mean shit, man.
There was a woman. Amon Gabar. He posted a video. There's a woman in Walmart, and they basically were wearing head wraps, and these women were like fighting the police, like punching. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen a woman at a concert. Twerking with head wraps. And these women, I mean, they're really all just, they're all just, what they really are is just, dirty whores, man. I have
And
the book of,
I got.
you got something?
What did you have?
Yeah, I have Sirach chapter 26 and
12.
I got verse 25. Or
Okay.
let's do 20 verse let's start at verse 24. It says, "A shameless wife enjoys making disgrace of herself. But a modest wife will act modestly even alone with her husband. A self-willed woman is a bitch, but a woman with a sense of decency honors the Lord." Right? So
Yep.
you have a lot of these women that what they really are just bitches, bro. Dirty
Yeah.
sluts, right?
A
And
shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. Okay, a dog. What does a dog do, man? A dog's just getting themselves eating their own shit, eating their own puke. All right.
and as we're making this lesson, and the brother GMS Yawasop, he mentioned this point. There's probably a bunch of women out there right now committing adultery, as we're speaking about this.
As we speak.
So
As we speak.
ultimately, we're gonna fucking put your ass to death, right? When we get those new spiritual bodies, you bitches are done. Like you're finished,
I got
bro.
a precept.
Go ahead.
Have something.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, you can bring it out, bro. Bring it out.
All right, man. That's why it says in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, we're going to start on verse 4, right? It says here, "The Lord said unto him, Go to the midst of the city, and to the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark, the law, right, upon the foreheads of the men who sigh and cry for all the abominations done in the midst thereof," right? And that's sort of the apostle Millstone down, and the brothers likewise doctor, right? But we give you a warning, right, of what to do and what not to do, right? And obviously what not to do is, being a damn man, witch bitch. But for those of you that don't hearken, man, that don't have the law or exemption, right? Verse 5, and to the other that in mine hearing, go and sin, might let not your eyes see that thing. Young, obedient,
It's a little the feedback's a little
Don't
poor.
worry, I'm
I don't know.
highlighting it. I'm highlighting it. I got it. I
Okay.
got it. Continue, Uck.
but woman's a mark. And my sanctuary, and at the ancient men, so talking that, at the ancient men that were before the house, right? So those, man, how in verse 6 it said women twice, man. women. Why? Why? Because y'all watch him outside knows how wicked going on because of the weaker vessel. Well, that's not an excuse to say, oh, I can commit more weight. Well, no, man. I mean, even brother says, because of the weaker vessel, you got to work on yourself more, right? That's why that's why when your husband tells you something, right, now, and speaking about the man of the Lord, right, best go do it because he's your ass in check, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what is the script? Salakia, you had something else?
Me?
Well,
I had some.
No, 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 I was just gonna say, like the brother Selah mentioned, right? It mentions women twice in this verse. That's just basically emphasizing, the judgment that's gonna, you know, come upon you women. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see, you're gonna, and you know, Isaiah 4:1 is, it's not gonna be like some, rap music video. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women are gonna, try to, save themselves. They're gonna fucking end up dying, right? Because we're not gonna be, we're not gonna be just, the men of the Lord aren't gonna just be taking everybody. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? The Lord is
and,
reserving these righteous women, right? But the Lord, He knows you wicked women's hearts, right? You can't come
and
out,
another.
you can't come at the very end of this thing and then, act like, you know, this is, you're gonna, right when you start seeing judgment, you're gonna put on this, a new attitude and, a change of heart. No, you're gonna
Yeah,
get fucking judgment. So, Salakia, go ahead.
because listen, you might have had Keisha might have had Pookie and Ray Ray over here sending them money here and there, for their nails, for their fucking weave, buying them crab buckets with fucking corn and whatever the fuck you 2/3 man eat that crap food, all right? Or buying McDonald's for all Keisha's fucking kids when they're not even this nigga's kids, right? But listen, you can't outplay the men of the Lord. We're gonna have discernment in these times to see. We're just gonna leave you, man. We're gonna leave you to rot. All right, because you're already rotting, man. You already have a insincere spirit on you, man, and
And
you just think that you're gonna just come around and just hop on board in the end.
and these
Get the
women,
fuck
a
out of
lot of
here.
these women, they have like a fantasy of getting raped. So you know what? You're gonna get raped, but it's not gonna be by some, handsome man. It's gonna be by some, seven different, heathen motherfuckers. They're
Seven stinky fucking Elamites. You're gonna feel that curry come out of your fucking eyelids. That's how shit it's gonna be, man. You're gonna hear these fucking heathens, man. These Elamites are gonna rub stinky corn shit all over your face after the fact, man. No, I'm being for real, man. These people will do anything, man. If you see these Elamites or these heathens, man, taking mountains of shit and smearing it on their face, all right. What makes you think, man? If they were if there was no law, and there was seven of them, all right, and they go in packs like a bunch of fucking fiends, and they see a woman, they're gonna gang up on that man. They're gonna do whatever they want to that. And afterwards, they're gonna probably fucking eat you after, make you
yeah,
into kebab,
yeah. And
make you into a
there's a
shawarma.
lot of people out here that exist, spirits created for vengeance, and they're like they fantasize, they know they can't get these certain women, but they fantasize, what if I had my chance with X, Y, and Z? Well,
Cause,
eventually they're gonna have their chance. There's not gonna be no more police. There's not gonna be no more, electricity.
cause,
Cameras. There,
cause the
soon,
brother
soon,
Barack,
soon, everything's gonna be fucking done, bro. Salakia, go ahead.
the brother Barack told me a story once about how this fucking crazy nut job who ended up offing himself had this crush on a woman who didn't even know him, and he got so fucking mad at the fact that she got a boyfriend, and he sent a bomb in a fucking letter to this bitch's house, man, and it got intercepted, and then he just offed himself, man. Like absolutely absurd, but batshit crazy behavior, man. And that's just a small. That's just a really small. That happens on a regular basis more than you can think,
Yeah,
man. You
yeah,
just don't hear about it because the news doesn't cover it.
yeah.
They
That
don't cover every single story. What do you think's happening, man, in these fucking random ass countries like Chad or like Eritrea or Bangladesh, man, and these fucking back alleys, these swamp water back alleys, man, these fucking sand pits. I mean, there's no cam. The people aren't posting this on Instagram Live. I mean, you're lucky if you get to see it, man. But when Jacob's Trouble hits and there's no internet and things like that, you're gonna start seeing that on a level more like like never before, man. All that gore is gonna just be magnified in real life. All that gore that you've seen, man, with your friends or however you came across it, because I know some of the brothers have seen it before, where they maybe have came across some gore video. That's gonna be a regular. That's gonna be a normal thing.
Yeah, yeah. The video you're speaking about, it's called the Ricardo Lopez stalker video, right? And basically, there's people like this. They basically they exist. They basically stalk certain celebrities, right? They basically fantasize off of they believe in their mind. They're with certain women, right? So when all hell breaks loose, you're gonna have a lot of people just getting raped, right? And there's nothing they can do about it, right?
And, and let me make a point too, because like look at these celebrities, man. Now there's obviously those A-list celebrities that might get bunkers or whatever, but there's a lot of these celebrities, man, that when shit breaks loose, man, their bosses or whatever aren't gonna give a rat's ass about them. That's all gonna jump out the door, and they're gonna be in their mansions, all right? And the CCTV is gonna break, all right, and their gates aren't gonna work anymore, and they're gonna start seeing, man, masses of people come in large numbers because a lot of these people already know where these top
Yeah,
celebrities live.
you're like
Could
Kim
you imagine, man,
Kardashian.
just looking outside, Kim
You,
Kardashian looking
you got
outside her house? There's a swarm of 50 Elamites
you,
just rushing towards her shit.
you got one guy. He literally like Kim Kardashian. She had a bunch of bodyguards around her. He ran through the bodyguards to like sniff under her ass, right? And then they
Right?
basically like arrested him or whatever, right? So there's people out here willing to do whatever it takes, to get with these people, so don't think it's you women are any different, right? You women are in you evil adulterous women, you're gonna get a very terrible judgment.
Terrible.
You guys got something?
I had a quick precept,
Yeah,
man. I
go
just
ahead.
wanted to bring this out. It's Ecclesiasticus 26 and 12 in the GNT. She'll spread her legs anywhere for any man who wants her, just as a thirsty traveler will drink whatever water is available. So just imagine, like, if you're dying of thirst, man, you haven't had water in 3, 4 days, and you see some shitty fucking rusty, you know, train station sink water in a bathroom, you're most likely gonna drink that over nothing, man. Or if you see just a stream of water, whatever, it's a little murky, you're gonna drink that, man. These hoes, man, they'll fuck anything that walks, man. They'll fuck whatever, man. They'll fuck a guy with the fucking fly dick. You know, this is these some of these hoes, man. And some of you men out there, man, still stick by these women's side, and you have them there like they're your trophy piece. And this is my lady. Yeah, yeah, she's all mine. Meanwhile, when you're doing your other things, man, you're out and about, man. She's going around and hopping on whoever. Who knows, man? It's this Swiss cheese pussy, you know.
Yeah, these women are absolutely disgusting. You know what I'm
And
saying?
excuse my French, man, but that's the case, man. Some of you women are just terrible, man. You guys are atrocious, and we're not sitting here knocking every single woman because we know there's sincere sisters out there. And for you sisters, man, may the Lord bless you and continue to keep you down the righteous path. But for all you other men, you Keishas, man, you Big Shirleys, you Marias, all right, all about to get destroyed.
Yeah, I got something. The book of Proverbs 5 and 3. It says, let's NIV version, it says, "For the lips of adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil." Right? These women, they tell you, all these. But actually, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna restart. It says, "For the lips of adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil, but in the end she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword." Right? So they'll tell you one thing, right, and then they're sabotaging you, right? That's what you see a lot of women. Even like they'll literally backdoor certain men, right? Bring them to a place and then they'll get robbed. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, bro, you're gonna see a lot of that during Jacob's trouble, right? And that's ultimately gonna be judgment, for these two-thirds, these wicked ass, adulterous ass Jakes, right? These evil ass people out here. It's gonna be a bloodbath, bro. You're gonna,
A bloodbath, man.
this is not gonna even be like the scriptures say what there was a time like no ever before.
Eh, Imagine, like you have that fucking cookout with your family, man. You guys have that blue kiddie pool. You're gonna start seeing, man, little babies, man, baby Susie, baby Johnny, just floating around in a kiddie pool full of blood, man. I mean, we're not playing around with you, man. It's about to all these wicked murderers and killers and meditators. They're gonna have their dreams, all right, are gonna
Oh,
come to
yeah,
life. They're
yeah,
gonna be
because
able to act out
you
on
gotta
what they've been
remember,
lusting on their whole fucking
you
life.
gotta remember, these prisons. What's gonna happen when no one's there to monitor them? When there's no electric, right? There's no gasoline, left to power anything, right? No more CCTV cameras. But they're gonna find a way to get the fuck out of there and make themselves back in society, put themselves back into society, right? Or you got prisoners. They might start telling oh, if you work for the army, right? Or you take this chip, we'll let you out. We'll give you a
We'll let you out.
sentence.
We'll let you out. So
Well,
this
whatever
we can
whatever the
track you
case,
now. So
whatever
we'll
the
let you
case
out.
is, right? I have the book of Matthew 24 and 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, and no, nor ever shall be." Right. So this is something you'll never ever see. Right. It's never happened, and it won't be as bad as this moment. You know what I'm saying? Or Salakia. It's not gonna be this time that it's speaking about. Nothing will ever top that. In terms of chaos and you know, and what's about to happen.
and and these are exciting times that we're in. This is the Lord is speeding things up, and when you see these devils, man, these puppets like DJT pushing things in this sort of fashion, you got to understand that it's the people in front of him, the elites, that are really just telling him what to do, man, and that's just leading one step closer to the tribulation that is to come. But for the elect, we're gonna be taken care of during these times, man. The Lord is gonna clothe us. He's gonna make sure we're provided. He could literally, if he wanted to, send down manna, and the manna tastes like exactly your favorite food, right? Or he could get somebody just to just be dealing with you, man, and they just like your spirit, and they just drop off water, drop off food. You never know, man. Or a bird can just come by and just drop you off some food, some fruit, or anything, man. You just see fruit fall on your floor. You never know, man. But for these other people, it's over for them, man. They're gonna feel their stomach hit their back, man. They're gonna have to look at their family members and say, you know what? Which one are we gonna eat, man? All right. Oh, the family dog that we had for 10 years, we're gonna have to eat him tomorrow. We can't find anything, right?
I got the book of Jeremiah 30, right? I'm gonna be reading this translation because it says, "Ask now and see." It says, "Can a male give birth? What then? Why do I see every man with his hands on his stomach like a woman in labor, and every
Yep.
face turn pale? How awful that day will be! None will be like it. It is the time of Jacob's trouble, but he will be saved out of it." Right? And so the elect are gonna be saved out of this thing, right? What did the Lord say? He said, "Touch my not my anointed, right? Give my prophets no harm." Loosely paraphrasing,
Yeah.
right? So the Lord, you have to have faith that He's not going to let His prophets, have to go through anything terrible, right? During that time period, right? And now some brothers may be martyred, right? That certain things will take place, for the Lord's sake, right? But the Lord's prophets, man, the Lord, He's gonna reserve us out of that period, right? And I have one more,
I
uh,
got two after you.
Revelation 3:10. It says, "Because you have kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth," right? And that hour of temptation is ultimately going to that mark of the beast, or that hour when that hour for the microchip gets implemented. The devil Esau Edom is force everybody to take that microchip, right? And just one more thing, brother. a lot of these men, right, are gonna take that chip because of their woman. Their woman might,
because they're women.
their woman might literally give the kids the chip, then she takes it, and then these men are just like, you know what, fuck it.
The wife took it. The wife took it, and we want to go on this cruise ship, and we can't have it unless I have the chip. So I'm gonna take it. We do it for the kids, for the family. Or your woman might just put you in a position, and you just fold, man. And you know what? That's ultimately those individuals' lots, man. The Lord wasn't dealing with them. But tying into what the brother said, man, if you are the elect, you're gonna be taken care of, man. You just have to have trust in the times that we're coming into. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So, if you're calling upon the Lord in these times, man, in sincerity and faith, all right, then he's going to make sure that you're taken care of, man. And it brings me to this other verse in the book of Romans 8 and 31. What shall we then say to these things? If Yahweh be for us, who can be against us? So it doesn't matter, man. Who's trying to plot against your downfall? Who's talking shit against you, man? Who's looking at you side eyed? If the Lord's dealing with you, man, that's all that matters, man. If you are the elect, you're gonna be victorious. You're gonna be predestined to be victorious no matter what. And we hope and we pray, man, that all the brothers, man, that are warring in truth and sincerity, man, and pushing out this work, especially the brothers in this lesson, that we're all deemed worthy of salvation, man, and that we're of the elect. All right. I don't even care if I'm the last in the 144,000, man. I just hope that I'm worthy of salvation, man. I hope that I'm just delivered in the chariots, man. And that's what we have to think, man. This is the mindset that we have to have, man. You gotta just leave it all on the line. This is all that we have, man. What else that you just perish terribly here, man, and you just get destroyed here on this side? I mean, because that's what's gonna happen, man. It's either you get destroyed or you get saved.
Con, you got
Uh,
something,
I'll,
brother,
I'll,
or brother,
I'll only take
brother
a
Sarah, brother
salvation if
Selah?
it's not for those. Yeah.
You guys got something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, man, I'll only take it for salvation is up. There is no other way, man. And anything else, man, is pride because you think you can deliver yourself when you absolutely cannot, man. And what does the scripture say, man? Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is he is the author and the finisher of our faith. And we get that.
Yep, that's the spirit, man. I was just thinking about that, man. And I have a quick point I want to make right after.
All right,
That's beautiful.
yes, sir. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 2, right? And it says here, looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God, Yahweh, man. So, man, if the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai be with us, man, who can be against us, man? That's that that's why we gotta put our faith and trust in the Lord, right? And and hope that we are covered underneath the blood, man. For ones who are diligently, seeking the Lord, doing the work, man. Praying, fasting, repenting, eh, doing all that we can, we can stand right. While everyone else, man, at least we get 2/3. These, especially these wicked ass keishas, man. They're gonna face nothing but holy hell, man. That's and that's what we fear, man. Is ultimately judgment from the Lord, man. Not these fucking people, man. Because the Lord controls is the one that controls these people at the end of the day. So
I got
that's
some
all I can say.
I got something because just the spirit that you mentioned that because the Lord He's reserving judgment for certain individuals, right? I have a book of Second Peter 2:9. It says, the Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished, right? So even if you see these wicked ass women or wicked ass people that might have disrespected you, right, or the men of the Lord, or offended the men of the Lord, or scoffed, right? He might reserve them to the last minute, right? He might give them heart attacks or he might make their life worse, right? But he's gonna keep them to the very end, just for them to go through that, go get hit with that nuclear missile, right? Or just he might even, and like the brothers from the Chicago camp, they mentioned, they might make them go through literally all of that, right? Just so what's it called? They see, the men of the Lord get beamed up by those chariots, right? And Lord willing, we are those men, right, that got delivered out of this place, right? Yeah, the Book of Wisdom, Solomon, here it is. Solomon, let's see, Salaki, I'm gonna just, yeah, Wisdom of Solomon 5:2, it says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed with the strangeness at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, right? I'll read it again. It says, and they shall be amazed at the strangest of his salvation, so far beyond all they look for. So they're literally gonna be, a lot of these people, they're gonna be like, damn, they're gonna be like, oh shit, well, and then they're gonna get hit with the nuke, and they're gonna literally just get burnt, burnt to the crisp, right? So and that judgment's coming to, you men, and especially you women, right? So you guys have anything else you want to bring out?
No, that's it for me, Doc.
All right.
I was gonna, go off the point that Brother Selah was making
Yeah, go ahead.
previously, the author and finisher of our faith, because we had the champion of our nation, undefeated, undisputed, and the Lord already wrote it, man. That was signed on the dotted line. He paid the price for us to have everlasting life. So it's already written, so long that we're of the elect, man, we're gonna get saved, we're gonna get beamed up, and we're gonna have everlasting life, man, and have that kingdom to come, man. So we just gotta continue to trust and hope in that, man, and put our faith and trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. In
Yeah,
these times that we're in, man. That's all I have to say.
yeah, Con. Everything was, this is all part of the Lord's movie. The Lord already wrote everything. Including these judgments that are going to happen to these people, right? So with that being said, that's all your brothers have. Yeah, I'm going to end it right here. Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. And with that, I'm going to give all glory and honor to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai, Ba'ashem,
Yahushai, Ba'ashem,
Rakakwadash.
Rakakadash.
Then double honors to the apostles and elders at the great millstone who teach and rule well, and peace and salutations to the elect feeding the sheep of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai with sincerity, truth, and charity. I'm the brother Barak,
But
This is
Salah.
this is Brother Salah.
and you have the brother Sarai here as well. With that, we're gonna say Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.